progressive party guiding a nation forward. On August 10th, I want you to get up early, say your prayers, have a good breakfast, get ready and head down to your polling station. You know why? I want you to put your ex by the guiding in. Put your ex by the guiding in. I want you to put your ex by the guiding in. Put your ex by the guiding in. I want you to shout out to Broadway, Mbakade, Laramie, Vista Bella and Marabella, all down by the coffee, Lower Hillside and Upper Hillside, Sapero Street, Coconut Drive, Gulfview and Bel Air. Shout out San Fernando West. This election, we going new. How will you vote now? 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 How will you vote and I 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 vote now? Yeah, how will you vote now? 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 How will you vote and I 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 vote now? Yeah, how will you vote now? 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 How will you vote and I 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 vote now? By now, I have your attention. This is the only way to get somebody to listen. That does happen when you mix voting and sessing. Voting and sessing. When you mix voting and sessing. Voting and sessing. Now that you warm up, somebody too loose. Let me jump into some instructions. You ready? How will you vote now? Like you know how. It's election time in the air, yo. So listen carefully. It's for the country. How we vet is not how we party. So on August 10th, how you hear this chance to vote, you just can't miss. If you're MP, you just can't see. Then it's best this time you replace it. How are you duck him? Like you duck you. How are you duck him? Like you duck you. How are you duck him? Like you duck you. How are you duck him? Like you duck you. How will you put your ex by the guiding in? Put your ex by the guiding in. How will you put your ex by the guiding in? Put your ex by the guiding in. How will you put your ex by the guiding flame? Put your ex by the guiding in. How will you put your ex by the guiding flame? Put your ex by the guiding in. Well, if Paris is egallus and I laughing is so malice, but I hope we never get back in power. You can be living in the West, but it's not San Fernando West. They say no jokes, the best we tell you don't bother. And then Sobers from the UNC, I don't know what he feel he could do for we. Can't even vote for himself. He don't belong to the West or Sando East. Them could just keep me. How are you? Dip in.
Good evening, everyone. Just waiting for Nikolai to reconnect. Have a little bit of internet issues. But if you were unaware, that is our song written, produced by Nikolai Edwards, our political leader. You can download it off of our YouTube. It is everywhere. He is the new recording artist of 2020. Don't come for him. He is a rapper. He is a political leader. What else can you be, Nikolai?
All right, good night and welcome everyone. So we decided to just touch base with everyone as usual. So this is one of our virtual political meetings. I mean, nothing too fancy. It's just about conversation. Let's hear what questions you have for us. Let's share some information and a nice little exchange. All right. So as you all know, we are leading up to the election. It's exactly 14 days. Now, 14 days from now, we will be counting votes, counting ballots. Hopefully, we're able to bring home San Fernando West. A lot is riding on it, and this is why we want to have this town hall meeting, this interaction, to really put into context how serious this election is. A lot of persons are saying things like, come back in.
Not sure what's going on with Nikolai's internet.
Visuals.
Nikolai, you might have to just repeat that sentence again because you lost a bit of connection there.
Yeah, So I know that the internet is a bit unstable, but we can work around it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's Morgan or myself.
You're just rebooting now. Just bear with us, everyone. Okay, so Nikolai will probably join soon. But just to continue with what he was saying, the whole reason why, we have a lot riding on this is because not only are we a new party and everything that comes with that, you're talking about someone who, if they don't win this seat, so if hopefully Faris and Sean Sobers don't win this seat, they will still be put place into like Senate positions, given the fact that they have, quite a juggernaut party following behind them. So they will get their time in due course. Whereas us as the underdogs, there's no chance for us after this. So it is a matter of putting in the work all the time from now until 2022 local government elections, then the second local government elections in 2024, and then of course the parliamentary elections in 2025. So this is a lot of work that we're putting into this, and this election is such a big election, and it is such a different election than what all of us are used to at this point. You're talking about the fact that we have a global pandemic currently happening as we speak, and that has completely stopped the way that we understand campaigning from the past. So this means no longer any big political rallies, smaller canvassing, and just a general change up that I think everyone is not used to, and we're all sort of trying to find our feet within this entire thing. So we are now finally, I guess in a way, almost on the same footing with a lot of these bigger political parties that we never had before. And this is something that we as the Progressive Party are definitely trying to take advantage of now. Nikolai, with me? Right, okay. I was just explaining to the audience basically about why this election is such a big one, how we have all kind of been put on equal footing based on the fact that we can't have the campaign the way that we are used to because of the current global pandemic, and also the fact of how much you have to lose in this, because as we said during our walkabouts and whatnot, that if Sean and if Faris don't win their seat, then they are more than likely to get a Senate position, to still have a namesake position. Whereas for you, we're underdogs in this. So there is no chance that someone is going to reach out an olive branch to us. We are going to have to fight tooth and nail, and that's what we're going to do for the next however long.
And I just want to to understand that there are ways that you can assist. To be just completely open and transparent with you, we need persons on election day. If you're serious about seeing us win in San Fernando West, we need persons to come and join us on walkabouts. We're not making any qualms where that is concerned, because we really have to get all the support that we can get. We are going to be having over this weekend a motorcade. So if you want to come join us, feel free to let us know, message us, reach out to us. We also need a number of things donated. People, this is an unprecedented campaign here, where we have a serious chance, we have a good chance, but of course we are not operating with the same kinds of resources as the other two parties or the major political parties. So we are counting on bringing home San Fernando West. All right, and it is possible. Listen, we are not trying to form government. I'm not trying to become prime minister in 2020. What we are trying to do is to have at least one seat in parliament. And this one seat in the parliament can be used to hold both PNM and UNC accountable. All right. If you want change, this is how change starts. It may start gradually. It doesn't happen overnight. So we are working towards something. We are creeping before we walk, all right? So I'm seeing a question here, what things do you need donated? We need so let me just break down on election day what is going to happen, all right? We need, and listen, we have been learning a bunch of things throughout this process, and I will say it publicly. For a new party, for an independent candidate, for someone new to the electoral process, the Elections and Boundaries Commission does not to be as forthcoming with information. It does not seem to be forthcoming with directions, all right? And that is a serious problem that we have. So we have been learning as we go along. On election day itself, in San Fernando West, there are, I think it's either 57 or 60 polling divisions. For each polling division, you are required to have, or I mean, it's in your best interest to have a polling agent, all right? The polling station opens to polling agents, so we have to produce our polling agents. Our polling agents will be our eyes and our ears in the polling stations. So if there are any discrepancies, if there are any issues, if someone has come into the station and caused a ruckus, our polling agents must take note of these things so that if we have to challenge it in court or with the EBC, we are able to do that. So let's say 60 polling divisions, all right? With those 60 polling divisions, we will have two shifts because the first shift has to get there at 5 a.m. And let's say they go up until lunchtime. And then the next shift comes in and they stay, once you come in the afternoon, you stay until the last ballot is counted in your polling station. So that is two, if you're going two shifts. So 60 by 2, that's 120 people that we're going to require in one constituency. So you see the magnitude of this. Then we need persons in the headquarters, and I'm actually at the headquarters right now. It's number 35 Chacon Street in San Fernando. So this is our base. This is where we are operating out of, all right? We need persons in the headquarters who will be receiving the information. We need drivers, because these drivers will be driving around San Fernando, and individuals who need to be carried to the polling station, we would make arrangements for them to go there. Also, the drivers are the ones who take the information back and forth. So they will be authorized to go into the polling station and collect updates from our polling agents, and that will be fed back to the headquarters. So if by 10 o'clock we have someone going in there, at 10 o'clock that person will be reporting to us that, I don't know, 100 persons voted or 20 persons voted or what have you, yeah? So we are taking that information. We have to give them breakfast, lunch and dinner.
And drinks and refreshments and keep them hydrated. So it is a lot of work.
Yeah, so in total, we may be catering for as much as 200 persons on election day working for the Progressive Party. Actually, let me backtrack that. Volunteering for the Progressive Party, because we are not in a position to be anyone. So if you would like to support us in any of those ways, please let us know. This Wednesday, as in day after tomorrow, we are having our training session because the EBC is having a training for candidates and polling electoral agents on Wednesday morning at Napa. And in the afternoon, we are having our training with our polling agents. So reach out to us ASAP. We need as many hands on deck as possible. So we've listed some of the things we need. Also, stationery. So we need pens. We need pencils, we need notepads, all right? And we're counting this at 200. So 200 pens, blue and red, 200 notepads, 200 erasers, whatever it is that you will get in a sharpener. So we want to put together 200 pencil cases with notebooks. So this is the magnitude of the election day. And this is why it's so difficult for independent candidates, for small parties, alternative parties, as we refer to them, to really break the mold. The system, honestly, is pit against us and individuals like us who are trying to break ground. But we will persevere. We will proceed ahead. We will do everything necessary to push ahead, all right? So We want to have a motorcade this weekend. We also want to have a motorcade on Saturday, the 8th of August, which is the last day to really canvass. So we need persons. If you're willing, please donate. You're seeing on the bottom of the screen there our bank information and so forth. Please, I would love to get you all interested to the point where you're willing to donate funds, if possible. Call us. Let us know if you want to drop off, if it's $100, if it's $20. Morgan, remember we went walking in Green Acres last week, and a woman, she said to us, yeah, she said she can't vote, but here's $20 for coffee. And those little things add up. Yeah. So we really, really, really need the support. We can win San Fernando West, but it's going to require as much support over the next 14 days. We can do it, but we can't do it with you all just simply saying, good luck, guys. You have my support, and that support is intangible. We appreciate that, we honestly do. But let's bring home San Fernando West. Let me tell you, the Progressive Party bringing home San Fernando West is going to send ripples throughout this country, not even just Trinidad and Tobago when you think about it, but regionally and internationally. Imagine many, and this is where normally I don't speak out against the media, because having a media background, I understand certain things, but let me be honest with you, I've been reading some articles in the media, and they're always giving coverage to be it Faris Alwari and Sean Sobers when they're talking about the constituency. Unless I make a statement, then you would hear they reference me as a candidate in San Fernando West. But that's unfair. All right. And also, when I hear these individuals who are the political commentators and political analysts saying that small parties don't stand a chance and these things, they are setting a very dangerous narrative. They are the ones who are planting these seeds into people's minds that all these smaller parties or independent candidates are doing are splitting votes. They are the ones who are pushing that rhetoric. So it's high time that we push back. And the way that we push back is that, one, if you're from San Fernando West, come out in your numbers. But even if you are not from San Fernando West, we want you to be able to send a message to your friends, your family members in San Fernando West. Come and walk with us. We need the support. We want to be able to go out on a walkabout with 25 people strong. Who knows, 50 people strong. Because we can cover a lot more ground, and we have covered a lot more ground thus far, but there is still a lot more to do over the next 2 weeks. So we are urging you. There are things that we need at the headquarters. We need to get some tables and chairs rented, all right? And we know that chairs are like, what is it? I think like $1 per chair per day or something.
$3 to $5 a day?
Yeah. So that's why even $100, $50 will go a long way, because it will take care of
our
Yeah. And today, a company, an advertising company, I'm not going to call their name as yet because I'm not sure, like we have to engage them, but they reached out to us and offered the use of their LCD or LED billboard in San Fernando. And those things, let me tell you, those are the heartwarming moments, because they're recognizing that we are trying to make an impact. We're trying to stand up and be counted here in Trinidad and Tobago, and they are willing to support it, because, if we were to pay for that, it will run us a couple thousand, I'm quite certain, and money we just don't have, all right? Even pulling that $5,000 for the deposit, that was difficult, but let me tell you, this is the investment that we are making. Yeah, Morgan?
Yeah. Well, I think what I want to continue on that point is, given the fact that we are very green in this is our first big parliamentary election that we're getting into. Nikolai and myself and the rest of our team, as well as all our volunteers and all our members, we are seeing the nitty-gritty facts of what it means to contest a seat. Now, contesting one seat alone is extremely difficult, and it is a lot that you have to put into this, a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of stress, a lot of late nights, a lot of quarreling, because you're trying to fit everything in one. And one of our most successful days thus far has definitely been nomination day, because from that one day of us hiring a truck and going out and getting all these flags and these banners and everything, we ended up becoming viral because Nikolai got on the mic and decided to have a little private zest. And it was something that worked out so well for us. But what I'm trying to say is, unless you are involved in something like this, you don't really understand all of the logistics that go into funding and organizing and contesting a seat. So what I would like people to really think about in this time is, how is it that parties can afford to contest all 41 seats? And how exactly are they getting that funding? Because we are talking about micro campaigns like ourselves costing around, maybe that day probably cost us close to around $15,000. And that is a micro campaign. This is not to take into account, bigger music trucks and a larger motorcade and larger banners and all of these things that will end up costing millions of dollars. So really take into consideration these parties and what they are trying to say by flushing the type of money that they are flushing into campaigns, when the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, campaigning or not, election year or not, we as citizens are not getting what we are supposed to get from these politicians that are campaigning. And that's why I'm very proud of us as progressives for making do with what we have when we have so little, and still making a mark on this election year. And regardless of whether or not people agree that a smaller party can get in and anything like that, you cannot deny our presence, and you cannot deny that we are making waves right now. And the more that we get into this and the closer we get to election day, the louder our voices are becoming. So whether or not these other parties are ready for us, we are ready for them. So I hope everyone, will understand that and will take those sorts of things into consideration. And maybe they would understand that some of the criticisms that they have against us are not warranted, given the fact that you cannot compare us to either of those political parties, only on the fact that we are not those political parties. We cannot be held against them. You're talking about parties that are much larger, have a bigger historical relevance, but yet don't have a lot of successes to show for themselves. And the successes that they do have are too little and too few and far in between. So yeah.
So I just want to address two things. So I see one comment from Kent Millett saying that he thinks I could have been a lot more vocal with respect to issues affecting this nation over the past 4 years. 4 years ago, I had no intention of contesting the elections. It was not something that I was dreaming of or thinking about. I had always been a strong youth advocate, and therefore that was my cause. That was what I was really speaking about and out there. And I was a strong youth advocate as that. And I mean, it speaks, my work speaks for itself without trying to brag or anything, but just really responding to the question here. It was only last year, June, that the Progressive Party was launched. So we had been really looking at for this period, really about gearing up for election and all of these different things, all right? So I just want to put that into context. And you know what? At the end of it all, I think that, as Morgan said, we really have to be proud of the work that we've been able to do in just over a year. So I just want to put that out there. Before I go to Jewel, I'm seeing, okay, how do I sign up for a party card? Full support, unfortunately. Progressive Party are not contesting all seats for the next election, for sure. Of course, Kevin, how you sign up, you go to progressives.tt. All right, and that's where you sign up for membership. So go to progressives.tt, and there you can hit join us, and that's where you go there. So going back to Jewel now, what are our plans if selected into office? We in San Fernando West, all right, we're the only campaign that has produced a manifesto or a plan for San Fernando West. And we are looking in that plan, it's called a simple plan. And we are looking at, because it's an acronym, and just let me see, I'm not sure where this comment is coming from, which page it is, but you can visit my page, Nikolai Jean-Paul Edwards, and it's pinned right there, the plan for San Fernando West. So things such as social development, infrastructural revitalization, modern technology, promotion of culture and sport, legislative participation, and economic diversification or economic stimulation rather, SIMPLE, that's the acronym, so that's what our plan entails. We want persons to know, and please, 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 now this is where you guys have a responsibility as well. Engage in voter education so that other persons are aware. A member of parliament, his or her responsibility is really to represent the voice of his or her constituents in parliament. Your MP is supposed to be a facilitator, an advocate, an activist, a lobbyer on your behalf. And so in that plan that we were able to produce, it speaks to all of those issues raised, looking at it from that standpoint of what an MP is supposed to do. So as Member of Parliament for San Fernando West, I will not be proposing mega projects and all of those things. It is for the government to do so, but it is for the MP to lobby the government to ensure that these projects happen, in the best interest of the constituency. Also, when you think about the fact that there are social issues within the constituency, and this is honestly where Faris Alwari failed as Member of Parliament, because coming down to the end, you are seeing all of these mega projects, all right, but where was the social development? Mbakade is still Mbakade, Laramine is still Laramine, Broadway in general is the same. And while some people may have gotten attendees here and there and all of that, it does not speak to proper social development. So when persons come to the MP's office, they are going to get a full suite of services. These services will, and I want to even pull, and I will give kudos to her, Caroline Sipasad Beechan, who is the former Member of Parliament for San Fernando West. One of the things that she keeps mentioning is that, you know what, you should be able to come to the MP's office and have, if you're getting problems with writing your resume, you need some help in setting up certain things, you may need a recommendation, all of these things, that's what you should be able to go to your MP's office for. And she was pushing that, and I think that that is exactly some of the things that you can do at your MP's office. But also, if you've applied for social grants or social assistance and all of these things, then you should be able to, if you find that they're taking very long, come to your MP's office, lodge a concern or complaint, and your MP is supposed to pick it up. As Member of Parliament for San Fernando West, I will be able to stand in Parliament and take to task as the Minister with responsibility for social development. So if I have a list of 100 persons who have applied in the constituency, and you have taken the time, we have taken the time in the office to scrutinize your documents and realize that yes, you do have a legitimate claim, then we will be able to, I will be able to stand in Parliament and challenge the Minister and say, what is going on with these persons here? Why aren't they getting the assistance? As your MP, I can take to task the Prime Minister, ask him or her questions relative to the constituency. So that is the role and function of your MP. So I really want to encourage you all to look up that. Let me just say as well, one other thing as part of the plan, economic stimulation. In San Fernando West, we have the haves and the have not. So there are these two classes or two groups of individuals in the constituency, and there are individuals who may be in the have-not bracket who may have a great business idea, but they can't go to the bank or financial institution for funding because they don't have a stable job, because they don't have an income that is commensurate with the requirements of the bank. So as MP, I want to bring a round table or bring these groups to the table where they can exchange ideas and so forth. Because I want to be able to see, choose the haves, here's what. Invest in these individuals, invest in these communities. They are going to start up businesses. They are going to stimulate the San Fernando economy, all right? And this way, these individuals who have the funding will be able to put that funding where it will matter the most, and the MP is the one in the middle bridging that gap, developing the policies, developing the contracts, developing the agreements that would really contextualize that entire thing. One last thing that I want to push really strongly, actually two things, because I mean, this is all about San Fernando West, right, Morgan? So one of them has to do with, we will set up the first ever virtual virtual MP's office in San Fernando West. What will that entail? There will be a website. It may be San Fernando West MP.tt or something, and you should be able to sit at home, go onto the app, go onto the website, and there you should be able to log in and find out everything that's going on with the MP's office. Upcoming events, activities, you'll get push notifications. You would also be able to lodge complaints and concerns, bring about queries. And when you put those queries into the system, you are going to get a ticket number or a reference number. And at any point in time, you can track the progress of your concern, your issue, your query. And we think that is bringing an MP's office into the 21st century, something that I don't understand why the incumbent MP never thought about, all right? So those are some of the things, and the last one that I'll mention, promotion of culture and sport. One of the things that I would love to see the MP's office do is help organizations in the constituency, cultural organizations, sporting organizations, with capacity building. Capacity building in terms of, we are going to get these organizations with their constitution, their audits, their accounting practices, their internal communication structures, because we think that when these organizations have their act together, they will perform much better. And furthermore, they will be able to even apply for international grants, because there are certain requirements. And if these groups are not able to meet those requirements, they will not get the funding and the support. So we really want you all to acknowledge that this is about teaching the constituents of San Fernando West how to fish, as opposed to giving them fish. Because we want you at the end of 5 years in 2025 to turn around and look at your MP and say, thank you. You have put me in a better situation, not by simply giving me big fancy buildings and stuff, but teaching me how to develop a livelihood, a fixed form of income that I can control, because I have put in the work, I have the experience, I have the benefit of all of these things. So I just really want you all to understand the vision for San Fernando West. It's not that coming on to the end, you go to Mbakade and Olera Heights and Roy Joseph, and it's seeing scaffolding and all of these things. It has to be much deeper than that. Yeah? Morgan?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of comments and everything concerning, your plans and whatnot. But, just to follow up on what Nikolai is saying is, we need to make significant changes. That is the only way we're going to see the changes right now. And for San Fernando West, that can be the starting point to show what a 5-year difference can be. Because to be very honest, we don't know the state and the condition of our country in 2025. And I don't think we should leave it up to chance. And this is more for non-voters who don't necessarily feel as though they're impressed with any candidates, nor do they believe that their vote makes a difference. Now, what I will say to that is, one, do not allow anyone else to make a decision for you. At the end of the day, this is your choice. You, as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, have a voice regardless of what the media tells you, regardless of what other parties tell you, regardless of what anyone says. You have a voice, and you should know who is going up for your seat, even if it's not someone from Progressive Party, even if it's someone that you're not too familiar with. Learn about them. Take the time, get some information about them. And if it is that you feel as though they are representing you or they have similar ideas to what you are seeing for your community, for the development of yourself as well, then put that X by them. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it is a waste of a vote if they do not win. Because what it does instead is that if this person doesn't win that you put your vote next to, it only secures them for the next one. And it allows people, other people as well, because politics is about optics at the end of the day. It allows other individuals to see that this is a candidate who is to be taken notice of and that you should follow and that you should see, because quite a lot of people also recognize that as well. And one other thing when it comes to non-voting and whatnot is you're doing yourself an injustice, because what you're doing instead is you're allowing the entire thing to happen and for you to sit back and not do anything. And it sort of invalidates your voice. And that is something we don't need anymore. We need people to come out. We need people to recognize that there is a power in numbers. And in most cases, given our statistics in the last elections, non-voters have a much higher power than those who vote. So you do have a majority vote in this country. So please, even if we don't have a representative, you don't have to be a supporter of the Progressive Party. This is just a general note that I would like to say that I'd like to advocate for, is about education. Be aware of what these parties are telling you. Understand what they are going for. If it is something that you need to be explained about because maybe they're using too big of words or they're trying to confuse you with saying nice fancy numbers, make sure it adds up, because you don't want to be put into a position where you're putting your vote to someone who is selling you dreams and not a reality. So that is something that you should also consider. And I think we didn't want to keep it too long tonight.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a question here concerning, and I think Nikolai, given the fact that you are from
the boundaries.
West,
Right.
concerning the boundaries of San Fernando West.
Right. So essentially, let me just say, and this goes for everyone, if you are not certain about which parliamentary district or local government district you fall into, please visit the EBC's website. It is very user-friendly. It's ebctt.com. That again is ebctt.com. And all you have to do is put in your first name, your last name, your birth month, and your birth year, and it will tell you if you are registered and what parliamentary and local government electoral districts you fall in. So you will know where you are voting. It will also tell you your polling station where you will be voting. Marbella, it really is on the left-hand side. If you're going into Marbella, so you are the roundabout and you're going into Marbella, most everything on the left side fall into San Fernando West. On the right side, it's San Fernando East as well and Pointe-a-Pierre. All right, so check it out there. The site again, I'm seeing Christopher asking it. EBC, as in Elections and Boundaries Commission, ebctt.com. All right, so it's very, very easy. I wonder if we could throw that up for anyone to see.
Let me see if I can share my screen.
I'll handle it.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, it says it also says the polling station that you can go to as well. So it tells you exactly which polling station to go and vote at. So it's really well done. And you can check for everyone in your family one time. Make sure all of you, the registration date has now passed, but at least for future reference, you would know. But those of you who aren't aware, based on where they live right now, it has all the information there for you too.
Yeah. So, this, unless there are any other questions, we would probably want to end off here. But we will be back tomorrow. We will just set the time, because tomorrow, let me just say one time, I will be on Synergy TV at 7:30 p.m. and that will be an interview with the chair. So it's supposed to be a youth-focused program where young people get to interview the candidates who are going up, and it's usually a focus on younger candidates as well. So today I got a phone call. They invited me onto the program tomorrow evening, so that's what that looks like. On Wednesday morning, I will be on TTT. All right. I was asked to come in for 6:20, so look out for me on Wednesday morning on TTT. And on Thursday morning, I'm supposed to be on Synergy TV, Breaking Dawn with Stephen Reed. Just waiting on some confirmation there. But I'm telling you, this week has been, and for the past couple of weeks, have been extremely busy, guys. But let me tell you, as much as it's stressful, as much as it's we know why we're doing this. Morgan has been painting in the headquarters, driving up and down the highway from Port of Spain to San Fernando, and many others have been doing this. So, guys, you know, all those people who are seeing this thing about, why are we wasting our time, we're splitting votes, we're losing our deposit, we could do this, that, and the other. No, we're not doing that. We're investing. And this is what it is all about, investing in our future. This hard work and development, we are investing into our future. And seeing Melissa asking what time tomorrow for Synergy, it's 7:30 p.m. on Synergy TV. All right. So yeah, or everyone who is a part of this campaign knows that it can go one of two ways. One, we win, which we're hoping for, or two, we don't. But regardless of the outcome of this situation, we have learned some valuable lessons. We have understood our electoral process, so we can speak as authorities on this to say what is right and what is wrong with our electoral system in this country. So we are honestly doing the work, getting out there, making a difference, inspiring persons. I'd also want to say, for those of you who have not checked it out and still want to learn a bit about me, my background, and my personal story, I want to encourage you. You can go to the Positives in TNT, and there you would find a documentary that was done on me. So if you really are interested in me and my candidacy and stuff, and you wanted just something, you just want a little more information to be convinced, so to say, feel free to go check it out, drop a comment, a share, a reaction. It really was a pleasure working with Trevlon Hall of Vision Abode. He was the one who I trusted with my story, and he told it very beautifully. So please check that out on the Positive in TNT. Again, and let me just throw that up one time. And Morgan, I love this feature. I really love this where we just type stuff on.
I think it's just like the best interface we've ever used. But we also shared it on our Progressives page as well. So in just in case you don't find the page on Facebook, you can visit our page, and we shared it earlier today too. And I think we pinned it as well. But we'll also release some graphics concerning some of the interviews that Nikolai will be on this week, just so that all of you can kind of keep up with where he'll be and everything like that. So just for everyone to know, we should be doing lives every day this week. Once, once our timing is done properly and stuff. But what we'll also be doing is our walkabouts. If any of you are from San Fernando West and you are feeling to do a walkabout and join us on one, please feel free. All hands on deck. We love it. We love going out there and meeting the communities. At least for myself, I'm a Port of Spain girl, so it has been very eye-opening, and I must say the San Fernando West community have really opened up their arms to me, and I feel very welcome down in the south. So I think I might move to south.
You can drive around San Fernando now.
Yes, and I can drive in San Fernando, and I don't need Waze as much, so I'm very proud of myself. But if any of you are interested in joining us on walkabouts, please feel free to message us on the Progressive Messenger, and we will try to organize so that you can meet us too. As well as we are selling T-shirts, and this goes towards our campaign financing, and they are $100. I don't have my shirt with me right now, but it is a polo neck or a round neck, and it has votes Nikolai Edwards on it. So if you want to support us that way as well, all proceeds go towards financing our campaign for the next couple of weeks. So feel free. We have all sizes available, and you can also get in touch with us to get one of those too.
Show this up here.
Yeah, there is our shirt. It is very nice. It fits great.
It's a dry fit, and you have both at the front and the back.
Vote Nikolai Edwards. I'll just have to say, blue is a color that looks good on everyone. Red and yellow, not necessarily, but blue looks good on everyone. So it will work for you. If you're working,
you shouldn't.
You shouldn't if you are.
Yeah, because you can get in some trouble there. And as much as we want the support from you, we also don't want you to get in trouble. So if you are working with the EBC on election day, you are not supposed to be seen supporting any political party in the public domain, or canvassing rather for a political party. That's my understanding. All right. But there are other ways that you can help us. We need people down by the constituency office from time to time helping us. We want you to spread the message that we are here looking to capture San Fernando West. And let's have a chat. You can donate things to us. A case of juice. You can donate some styrofoam cups. You can donate a pack of pencils,
plastic forks, notebooks, food containers. Because everything, I mean, even with the food containers and stuff, we'll be giving out lunches on election day. So something even as trivial as that you would think of would even be a huge help for us too. So
let me tell you guys, this is a grassroots campaign. You know how upsetting it would be for PNM and UNC to know that we won San Fernando West and we only put in a fraction of what they invested in the constituency. They will feel sick to their stomachs, because we were able to go out there with us being just genuine people wanting to. Let me tell you, and this is not to get into the Picong or anything, but big man thing, if Faris Alwari really cared about the people of San Fernando West and wanted to make a difference, as a multi-millionaire, he could have been a philanthropist. He could have been helping people, and it would have cost him next to nothing. All right? Yeah. He does not have to be the member of parliament for San.
I think what he was trying to say is that Faris doesn't have to be a member of parliament in order for him to contribute back to San West. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, sorry, I got a phone call.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I kind of finished your sentence for you.
Yeah, exactly. So he can definitely handle his affairs and support the people of San Fernando West. So I, on the other hand, I am not a multimillionaire. I do not have properties being rented out around the country and all of that. So I have to find ways and means where I can, in fact, help persons. And I see me being in Parliament as but one way in which I can honestly give back to Trinidad and Tobago, help create legislation that will guide this country moving forward. And as Morgan mentioned earlier, Faris, if he loses, he will still be able to get a seat in the Senate because his party will have a significant number of seats. So if they form the government or the opposition, they can appoint him. Sean Sobers of the UNC, he can return to the Senate, all right, because his party would either win or be in the opposition based on how trends are looking right now. On the other hand, if we are not successful in San Fernando West, we have to wait another 5 years before we can inject voices into Parliament. We are pushing this whole notion of let's break the duopoly that exists on our parliament, the stronghold that PNM and UNC feel they have over our parliament. All right, we need more voices. That parliament is really supposed to be a diverse place with views, representatives from different parties, creating the best legislation possible. But right now, it really boils down to PNM and UNC. Of course, we had Prakash Ramadal, who was COP, but in a sense, it was just UNC. Yeah. So we have to have other voices who are unattached, who can make, when we look at the European parliaments, when we look at Canada, when we look at all of these places in the world, we are seeing where they have a number of parties there. So we are asking you, please support us in San Fernando West. We are the difference that you have been looking for. We are the difference that you have been crying for in Trinidad and Tobago. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Please do everything in your power to give us that support. Share our videos, message people, advocate for us, inject our voices into discussions in WhatsApp groups and chats and all of these things. That's how we're going to win this, We're not going to win it with $1 million, which we don't have. I heard on nomination day, Morgan, and as we're wrapping up, guys, I remember hearing on nomination day that they said that we were giving out money in T-shirts and all of these things. Listen, I wish we had money to give out in a T-shirt.
Where are we doing now? Can we have some of that money?
That was hilarious for us.
Was because
not we don't have that. Listen, and to tell you how transparent we are, guys, if you go to our bank account right now, Pigman thing, we probably have like $2,000+. Yeah, and we're not ashamed to say it. And then we have our WePay account, and it's probably another $2,000+. That's how much money we're working with. So help top up our account. Give us more funds so that we can do more. We can rent another big truck and do a motorcade around the constituency. We can rent some tables and chairs for the constituency office. We can buy some some pencil cases and stationery for our polling agent. We can get them meals. We can do all of these things. Your contribution will go a long way, guys. So this is going to be the mother of all elections. And we honestly think that now, I almost sound like if I was going to use UNC slogan, but now is the time for something outside of PNM and UNC. Yeah? So make the right choice and choose the Progressive Party. Yeah. All right, so I think that's it from me, Morgan. You feel free to end off, but let me just say thank you. Right now we have a total of 55 persons cumulative on the live right now. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate everything that you are doing in support of the Progressive Party. And listen, we could do this. We could really make a difference in Trinidad and Tobago. So thank you so much, and continue to support us in any little way possible, because a win for us in San Fernando West is a win for you. Yeah, Morgan?
Right. So again, to follow Nikolai, thank you all for joining. We definitely appreciate it. Look out for us for the rest of the week. And again, get in touch with us. We love as many people who can volunteer and who want to be a part of this. Please feel free. And I hope all of you have a good evening. I hope you're all keeping safe and adhering to the social distancing rules and, taking care of yourselves. And please continue to be a part of this and continue to let your voices be heard to us, because without any of you, we would not be here either. So again, have a great evening, and looking forward to seeing some of you joining us for this next week. Bye.